Hello and thanks for joining us. Broken Childhoods is the summary of this week's film show. Those of young film stars at the heart of French actress Judith Godrèche's speech at France's Cesar Awards ceremony, and that of the young heroine in the film When It Melts. It's out in France this week. It's the directorial debut of Belgian actress Veerle Baetens, who joins us in the studio. Hello, thank you for being here.
Nice
but we're going to start with the equivalent of France's Oscars, the César Awards. Lisa Nesselson, were there any surprises?
Well, right up until the final award for Best Film, which went to the dead body / courtroom drama Anatomy of a Fall by Justine Triet, there was a neck-and-neck 5-award tie between that and Thomas Caillet's Animal Kingdom, an ambitious, otherworldly tale set in a near future in which some people start transforming into animals. Aria Werthaler won Best Actor for playing real-life violent radical Pierre Goldman in The Goldman Case, and Sandra Hüller, who immediately pointed out that she happens to be German, and there's been some mistake, won Best Actress for Anatomy of a Fall. Next stop for Anatomy, the Oscars, where it has 5 nominations.
Okay, it looks very hopeful for them as well. For many, though, the highlight of the evening was the impassioned speech given by the actress Judith Godrèche, who recently pressed charges against 2 prominent French directors for sexual abuse when she was a minor. She called for a new era of truth around the issue of sexual abuse and harassment in France's film world after decades of silence and denial, Lisa.
Well, Godrèche implored the film industry to modify prevailing attitudes when it comes to inappropriate, even criminal behavior by directors operating from a position of power and authority. The directors who 51-year-old Godrèche is accusing of rape when she was under 15 are now almost 80. You do the math. Both directors deny the accusations. There was widespread praise for her speech, and some commentators even said that there will be a before and an after the 2024 Césars.
It's definitely rocking the film world here in France. Tell us then about some acceptance speeches that stood out for you.
Well, versatile Raphael Quenard, who won Promising Male Newcomer for his role in Junkyard Dog, thanked the protesting farmers of France, quite sincerely, for the trouble they go to grow vegetables and grains so that we don't go hungry. And he's promising, all right. Last year he appeared in 8 films, and he has 3 more in the can. Kauter Ben-Hanias called for a ceasefire in the Israel-Hamas war. She said that war criminals are walking around while Alexei Navalny is dead and Julian Assange may be next. Her documentary, 4 Daughters, which is also up for an Oscar, shows the toll on a Tunisian family with 4 girls, 2 of whom are attracted to becoming terrorists.
And the director, Christopher Nolan, won an honorary César for his career. He's been on the award ceremony circuit with Oppenheimer alongside France's Justine Triet, who's been winning awards for The Anatomy of a Fall. Nolan emphasised how much France's love and support for film has inspired him.
I mean, it's interesting. You get to know the filmmakers a little bit. I've had the pleasure of meeting Justine Triet a couple of times. And yeah, you go on a crazy journey together. But it's honestly just an honor to be included with fantastic movies like Anatomy of a Fall. Yeah, it's just sort of a fun thing to meet other filmmakers and go through that with them.
And French actress Agnès Jaoui also received an honorary Oscar. She said in her speech that she's always wanted to play the Olympia, the storied music hall where the ceremony takes place. So she made good on that by singing a ditty while strumming a ukulele.
Sounds like your cup of tea for sure. Let's move on then to the releases of the week. And your film, Veerle Baetens, When It Melts, it's about a young woman exploring a heavy childhood trauma. We won't give any more away. Thank you for being with us. This is your first feature film as a director, and it was applauded at the Sundance Film Festival. We're going to talk about it in just a moment, but let's take a look.
Heb je zin om een spelletje te spelen?
Als ze u uitsluiten of ze doen stomme dingen, dan kom ik mij vertellen.
Eva?
Maar Eva, schat, ik had je helemaal niet herkend.
Wat heeft hij gedaan?
We doen niks verkeerd, hè. Het is gewoon een spel. We vinden die meisjes gewoon mooi.
Now, the film was adapted from the widely translated 2016 Flemish bestseller by Lise Spit, The Melting. Lisa, what's it about?
Now, in the opening frames, we observe Eva, a young woman who works as a photographic assistant in Brussels. She has a younger sister and the demeanor of somebody who is always socially awkward. Gradually, very gradually, with care and suspense, flashbacks fill us in on Eva's childhood and one summer in particular. Eva was such close friends with two boys that the trio was called the Three Musketeers. But children can be spectacularly cruel to each other, and adults don't always do the right thing. When Eva returns to her childhood village for a memorial event, she takes not a suitcase with her, but a turtle and an enormous block of ice we watch her make in a big freezer.
Okay, well, let's talk about the film, Veerle. To give some background on your career, audiences may recognise you as the main character in The Broken Circle Breakdown. It won the César for Best Foreign Film here in France. You also won Best Actress at the Tribeca Film Festival and were widely honoured for your performance here in Europe. This film, when it melts, it is a very dark and traumatic story. Why did you want to adapt it for the screen?
Because I felt when I read the book, I was shattered by this strangling loneliness of this character, and also the fact that it's so realistic that not everyone is able to get out or survive his trauma or her trauma. And because we live in a society where heroism and getting out of trouble or putting yourself again to fight and we live in that kind of society, but not everyone is able. And we judge people who are not able to stand up again and to fight against their past or what they've been through. So I really wanted to share that. And I wanted to examine also this mechanism of silencing yourself. How come that you don't talk about it? Because I'm someone who likes to communicate, but not everyone is able or not everyone has learned. And if something like that happens, it really shuts you down.
Newcomer Rosa Marchand is 19, but she plays very convincingly a 13-year-old. She won the Best Actress prize at Sundance.
Yeah.
How did you find her?
By doing a lot of auditions. But already from the beginning when I saw her, she was very special. She did audition for the youngest sister first. She had inscribed herself, like, I think I'm too young to play the main part. And so she did audition for Tess. And then she was very quiet and shy in real life, but from the moment she started playing, something big came out, something enormously overwhelming and powerful. And so she has this capacity to dive into a character and being able to show emotions in such a natural way. It came so natural to her to play, actually, to act. And that's very rare in a child. And the fact that she's 16 at that moment, and that she looks 13 was very, very good for us. So yeah, she stole our hearts immediately. So she kept on moving on till the end of the auditions, and then okay, it's gonna be Rosa.
Now, there were some very difficult moments in the film to watch, and I imagine to play as well. And how did you prepare these young people to shoot the traumatic event that haunts Eva's life?
I didn't want to make a film about trauma by causing trauma. That would be too stupid. I'm an actress myself for 20 years, so I know what it is, what kind of place it is, acting. It's a fragilizing, is it a word in English? Or it's a place that you want to please your director, so you're ready to do anything for this person, and the director wants to make the best movie he or she can, so she's also ready to go far, so it needs to be protected. And I think it's a lot of work in advance, a lot of time with the kids together to get to know each other, spending time. And then of course there's this psychologist who was attached to the project from workshops already into the readings. Certain kids went into therapy, and then she was there, of course, with the scene of I'm not going to talk, but the key scene. She was there to guide us because we tend to consolidate or to take each other in the arms to stay in the same place where you shot it, but actually you need to get them out and change ideas, play games, physical games, funny games, so that it won't set in. It won't like real trauma does, actually. So, and also aftercare. I really believe that you need to keep on following them. You took a very important place in their lives, in their development at a moment where they're very, like 15. I mean, it's an age where everything happens. So the character is formed. So you need to still keep touch and get them together again. And that's what we're trying to do.
When It Melts is out in France now, and we're going to end the show with the blockbuster release of the week, Lisa, June 2. It's directed by Denis Villeneuve, and we saw part 1 in 2021. And this is being positioned as the first blockbuster of 2024. It is very ambitious, isn't it?
Very visually ambitious, for sure. And the cast is top-heavy with talented people of all ages. The themes in Frank Herbert's book from almost 60 years ago are awfully pertinent today. Climate change, the usurping of tribal lands for mining, the way fundamentalism appeals to poor and marginalized people, and chillingly, the manipulative techniques whereby populations put their faith in a messiah-like figure. One of the most wildly entertaining documentaries of the last decade is Jodorowsky's Dune, the sad yet hilarious tale of how wildly imaginative Argentine auteur Alejandro Jodorowsky was thwarted in his attempt to make Dune in the 1970s with French producers and with Salvador Dali, Gloria Swanson, Orson Welles, David Carradine, and Mick Jagger in the cast.
Wow, that sounds incredible. And thank you so much, Lisa. We're going to leave you now with June Part 2. Thank you so much. And thank you to today's guest, Veerle Baetens. When It Melts is in cinemas now. Thanks for watching. See you next time.
Never lose me ball trainings.
We gave them something to hope for.
That's not hope! May thy knife chip and shatter.